If you've been paying attention to real estate headlines lately, you've probably felt like none of them fully agree with each other, and depending on which article you read, which chart you see, or which person you listen to, Spokane is either about to heat up again or it's quietly rolling over. And honestly, that confusion is exactly why I wanted to make this video. Because on one side, we have national organizations calling Spokane one of the best housing markets for buyers heading into 2026, and then we also have forecasts saying that prices here could actually dip quite a bit, all while interest rates have briefly come down, everyone is getting excited, and we're already creeping right back into the 6% range. So instead of jumping straight into opinions or predictions, what I want to do is going to slow this down, walk through all of the actual data first, market by market, price segment by price segment, and then toward the end of the video, once we've laid everything out, I'll tell you what I personally think happens next and how I'm approaching this market with my own clients. So when you zoom out and look nationally, this is where the mixed messaging really starts. The National Association of Realtors recently included Spokane as one of their top housing markets for buyers heading into 2026, and that ranking isn't about short-term price appreciation. It's really about the fundamentals like job growth, migration, affordability relative to income, and long-term demand. And at the same time, Realtor.com released a forecast suggesting Spokane home values could soften by about 3.5%, which understandably makes people nervous when they see that number without context. And then of course, layered on top of that, we've had mortgage rates dip briefly, and even just last week, rates came down by about 0.25%, but almost immediately we started creeping right back toward the 6% range, which tells you how fragile the sentiment really is. So I don't necessarily believe that any of these sentiments are wrong. I think Spokane could be a great buyer's market next year. It also could go up in value or down in value, and rates could be in the mid 5s by the end of the year, but they also could be in the mid 6s. It's just there's so much going on right now that we don't actually know. But to really determine how useful any of these guesses are, we really have to look at what is happening today in each of these little micro markets. And so that's what we'll check out going forward. So we'll start with the city of Spokane. This is where I do the most business, but we obviously help people all across Spokane County and beyond. And so we're going to feature some other smaller towns as well in this area, like Liberty Lake and Spokane Valley, if that's what you're more interested in. As of December 2025, the median home price in the city of Spokane was about $380,000, which is down from about $400,000 at the same time last year. And that headline alone leads to a lot of people thinking that the market is weakening. But when you layer in the rest of the data, the picture is going to change for you just a little bit. In 2025, 3,400 homes closed compared to 3,200 in 2024. And we also saw 5,700 new listings come into the market compared to 5,100 just a year ago. So what actually happened is that more homes came for sale, buyers stayed active, and actually more buyers came to the market, but sellers lost just enough leverage that pricing had to adjust. We see that difference between about 600 new listings coming to the market between the 2 years, but only about 200 more sales. Additionally, in the city of Spokane, about 30% of homes had at least one price reduction, and roughly 25% came off the market and relisted, and homes ended up selling for about 95.8% of their original asking price. So of course, that's not panic. It's not selling for 70% of their original asking price, but it's not obviously the crazy strength of the market where we're averaging 105% in 2021. So one thing I know for certain is that there are still buyers out there that are ready and willing to buy when they find the right deal, and they will still pay over the asking price depending on the situation. So like recently we had a listing where our seller listed for about $325,000 after we told them that the market value was likely about $335,000. We ended up getting 3 offers and then sold for $340,000, more than I had originally said, because buyers were bidding themselves up in that situation because they wanted the house. So when buyers feel that there is a large level of value for the price, they will write great and competitive offers for a home. And so it really, sellers, you can really control your environment and your situation, how fast you're going to sell, and what terms you're going to get, all by pricing your home appropriately and not having. A lot of sellers feel they need to list high in order to have room for negotiation, but there is no room to negotiate if there's no one to negotiate against. If nobody shows up to look at your house because the price was too high to start with, then you have no negotiation room because you can't negotiate with nobody at that point. So there's definitely very active buyers in the city of Spokane still. It is just looking for the right deal. So now let's take a look at the Spokane Valley. The median sales price at the end of 2025 was $413,000, which is down about 3% year over year. Sales were almost identical, 940 homes sold in 2025 versus 941 in 2024. Days on market improved down from 30 days to 24, and we had roughly 1,500 new listings, slightly more than the year before. So homes were still selling for about 97.5% of the original asking price, which tells you the buyers are engaged but not desperate, obviously, in this situation. But most sellers, again, are not taking a heavy loss on what they're originally asking for. So Spokane Valley was a pretty normal market, and it wasn't really wildly swinging in either direction. It was just kind of straight down the middle for most of 2025, but not a lot of price growth, which obviously most sellers want to see is their home values go up over time. It was relatively the exact same market that we had seen in 2024. Now, Liberty Lake is where things get a little bit weird because on the surface, the median price hasn't moved much at all. It's sitting around $478,000, which is almost identical to last year. But at the same time, about 41% of listings have had a price reduction, which makes it feel like something is wrong there. When you break Liberty Lake into price segments, that confusion starts to make a little bit more sense though. The top quarter of the market, the top 25% of homes, they average about $1.15 million, and they're sitting on the market for roughly 98 days. The next tier down drops all the way to $665,000 and is actually selling slower at 112 days. And then the lower two price points, the lower half of the market is between $415,000 and $490,000. Days on market falls to about 40 to 80 day range, and those homes are moving much quicker. And so I have said that middle price point right now is very hard to sell in, anything from like the $600,000 to $900,000 range. The luxury market is typically actually moving a little bit faster than that first move up or maybe middle move up buyer, where it's that $600,000 to $800,000, $900,000 range. And even with 41% of homes having a price reduction, sellers are still getting about 96.1% of their asking price. So Liberty Lake didn't suddenly get weaker, but buyers just became more selective about which quarter of the market that they're willing to play in. For our own clients, we had somebody move into Green Acres, which is just right outside of Liberty Lake, but similar markets, similar types of homes. And it was, they just got the home for $40,000 less than the seller had originally asked for. Plus they got $10,000 in closing costs on that property. So really $50,000 below that original asking price. So there is a lot of flexibility. And this was in that mid $400,000 price point. So we're seeing 10% discounts on what sellers thought their homes were worth in the Liberty Lake area, but market value being quite a bit less. And when you move north into Meade and the surrounding areas like Colbert and Chattaroy, the data becomes a little less pretty. The median price across Meade, Colbert, and Chattaroy is sitting around $495,000, which is down about 10% from this time last year. Closed sales dropped from 157 in 2024 to 130. And while months supply of inventory, how many homes are on the market compared to the number that have sold, that came down from a summer peak of 6.5 months, which people think that the summer is the time to do a real estate transaction, but it was definitely not in this area. And now it has dropped from 6.5 to 3.8 months. And that's mostly because sellers pulled their listings, not because demand surged necessarily. Sellers have just decided that they cannot sell for the price that that neighborhood is currently demanding. And when you break Meade into segments, the pattern is fairly clear. Homes around 950,000 are sitting on the market about 100 days. The next tiers, roughly $540,000 to the $640,000 range, are sitting even longer. So again, that median price point is worse than the luxury price point, and those are sitting at about 115 to 130 days with very little absorption. And yet, when homes do sell, they're still selling for about 98.8% of the asking price. And so I want to say that I'm combining data here from the Spokane MLS and then another website that is one of the top real estate data websites called Atlas. And I think what I'm seeing here is that the MLS is really only, when you take only the closed sales, the ones have actually closed, you get numbers that don't look that bad, like this 98.8% of asking price. But then you don't factor in this whole segment of the market that is not selling, and the sellers are not reducing their prices. They're not coming off the market. And that's what Atlas is really looking at. They're determining days on market of all the active homes, the homes that have not sold. And so that's where we get a little bit more of this doom and gloom data. But I think it gives a better idea of what the market is like. Sellers right now Like I have my own sellers that are turning away offers because they're too low. And we have buyers asking us like, what is a reasonable offer? Well, it really just depends on what the seller's situation is and what they're willing to take. We can't necessarily, what I think is a reasonable offer and what I may suggest may be too low for what the seller is willing to take. But this shows that our market is not in distress because sellers are in the situation where they can just choose not to sell. And so we're just not in that situation where buyers get to pick the price point right now. And now our last little metro area is the West Plains, Cheney, Airway Heights, and Medical Lake. The median sales price here is about $398,000, which is basically flat year over year. We saw 337 homes sell in 2025 compared to 343 in 2024, with about 480 new listings, almost identical to last year as well. Inventory is sitting around 4 months, and homes are selling for about 96.6% of their asking price. When you break this market into segments, homes between that 350 and 540 range are moving in 38 to 49 days, quite a bit faster than other markets we've been talking about. And then the higher end out here is that's 750 and above is sitting for about 120 days. So it's a relatively balanced, healthy market looking into 2026 out in the West Plains there. So when people say the market feels confusing, I would say that they're not wrong. It definitely does to me a little bit. We're seeing 30 to 40% of listings reduce their price, but homes still selling in that 95 to 99% of asking price, depending on where they're at. And we just got to factor in this kind of two different markets right now, the homes that are selling and then the homes that are not. And there's still this group of sellers that are starting high, but the market is pushing back. Prices are starting to adjust a bit and homes are selling closer to that adjusted price once they've made those adjustments. So that's creating friction in our market, but definitely not like a massive failure in our market that's going to lead it being to this massive buyer's market in 2026. So now that we've gone through all the data, here's my personal take. I think a lot of people are going to start saying that the housing market is heating up again this year, especially as rates come down slightly and confidence improves, even though we're still hovering right around 6% interest rates. I do think we'll see more transactions this year than last year, more buyers entering the market, more sellers listing their homes, and more overall movement. And as more sellers enter the market, more buyers enter the market. But I don't think that automatically means prices are going to surge by any means. I think supply and demand rise together, which keeps the market relatively balanced just at a higher level of activity. So that actually creates a great opportunity for strategic situations. Contingent offers become realistic again if you need to sell and then buy. Move up buyers have that flexibility to do something like that. And sellers aren't giving back the massive gains they've made over the last 7 years where property values doubled and then flattened out. You're still maintaining that equity that you've earned over the last 7 years. It's just that there's going to be a little bit more give and take come time for negotiation of what things need to be repaired and things like that. We were lucky enough to work with 22 of you that came directly from YouTube this year, plus a few dozen more that we were helping from other areas in our business. And I have to say quite a few of those, at least a dozen, were people that were selling their home and then buying another, whether it was within Spokane, moving from California or somewhere else into Spokane, or selling in Spokane and moving out to somewhere else. So that contingent move right now is happening a lot. And if that's something that you're needing to do, whether it's moving into, out of, or across Spokane, we have a ton of experience doing that. The biggest mistake I see people make is waiting till that last minute to connect with a professional. Strategy, patience, and preparedness are the keys to winning right now. And so if that's something you'd like to do, please use the contact information down below to reach out to me directly and we can look through your specific situation. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you are relocating to Spokane in 2026, here's everything you need to know. Thanks so much, and we'll see you over here.